So you have feet for hands. You have butter for fingers. You couldn't hit the broad side of a barn. Welcome to the channel. You came to the right place. This is the Can't Aim tier list. Are you at home struggling too with being able to aim? Are you tired of trying to hit somebody flying around all weird and you just can't shoot them at all? Well, gather round and hear my tale. This is the Can't Aim tier list. Who should I play if I have 2 broken hands and they were replaced by flippers as if I was a dolphin? This is the dolphin hands, flipper hands tier list. Starting things off, if you really have simply no hands and just 2 little nubs that you're playing with, just probably hop on the rocket. Just put the rocket in the bag, dog. You don't really need to aim at all with him. Maybe bounce something off the ground so you can kind of aim. Just play the rocket, big dog. You know, either get your aim up or get your rocket up. This is probably the character I'd recommend if you truly you don't have a single hand. You don't even have one. I would play Rocket. Next up in the no hands list, I think Rocket's kind of in a tier of his own. The rest of these characters, you may need a slight hand, you kind of gotta aim a little bit. We're gonna put the Cloak and Dagger. Sure, she has the auto lock heals and cloak, but you still kind of sorta gotta look at their general direction. Where Rocket, you really just don't. You can just hang out on top of a lamp and hold down heal. You'll be doing fine. Cloak though, still pretty easy. Still just you don't really need to aim too much. Kind of just a walk in the park. Another walk in the park character is gonna be the Mr. Fantastic. You can miss your punch initially and then be like, oh, I missed, and then kind of drunk driving swerve into the other lane, and your punch will still hit somebody. So kind of just throw some punches out and swing them around, and you're gonna hit something. Something's getting punched. Speaking of getting punched, I'm gonna put the Thing here. You really don't need to aim too much on the Thing. He's really not that aim intensive. You kind of just hold down your punch and then go dashing around a couple of times. Who else really you just don't need the most aim on, and you can get them to work? I'm gonna throw in the Squirrel Girl. You know, a lot of people saying, oh, you gotta aim with Squirrel Girl sometimes. Maybe, sure, sometimes, but you can kind of just hold down shoot and look in the general direction of the enemy team, and something's probably gonna get hit. You know, something's probably taking that hit. And I think that's looking pretty good for the A tier. Next up here in the B tier, where you don't really super have to aim, but you kinda maybe gotta aim. No, you know what, I'm gonna put Captain America in the A tier too. Really don't need to aim too much with Captain. He has a heat seeking ability. He's a melee character. You don't have to aim too much really with him. Just kinda gotta run around and know where the health packs are. Bring us down to the B tier. These ones you need a little slightly more aim with. And I'm gonna put the Hulk. Hulk has a couple of skill shots you gotta aim, but most of the time you're kind of just punching. But you do want to be able to aim your jump. You do want to aim your stuns and your claps and whatnot, but you gotta really aim too much on Hulk. Iron Fist I'm gonna put up next. Now you're probably thinking, oh, Iron Fist, he has auto locking on punches. What do you have to aim? Well, you've really got to aim his kick, which can be a little wonky, and if you miss the kick, you're kind of kicking yourself, because you really got to hit that. he's like, you really don't have to aim too much until that kick comes in. That's a big part of his kit, so I'm gonna give him B tier of like, you don't have to aim until you do. Another don't really have to aim until you do character, I'm actually gonna put Iron Man. He's kind of like Squirrel Girl in the air. But you do have to aim that laser beam. If someone tries to challenge you, you gotta pull out the beam and be able to aim a little bit with that. So he's getting down and dropped down to the B tier. You kind of gotta aim a little bit. Next up, Namor. He's got the squids, which you don't have to aim for, but you do kind of gotta aim his spears. And like, honestly, if you can't aim at all, like, Namor is a better chance, but probably you still kind of need some aim for him. Magic, I think she's getting a B tier, kind of similar to Iron Fist, where you don't really need to aim too much until you do, until you're lining up that uppercut, or you're lining up your throwing slice thing. But most of the time you don't have to aim too much, but then sometimes you really gotta lock in and aim. So she's getting a B tier for that. I'm thinking I'm gonna put Wolverine down in the C tier, because you don't have to aim too much, except you do have to aim your dash, jump, kidnap, which is pretty tricky to aim, honestly, and like, you kind of gotta be able to hit the 180s, and like, if you can't aim at all, then you're probably better off playing one of these guys. But if your aim's still really bad, you can make the Wolverine work. Who else we got here? Thor, you kind of need aim for. He's kind of an awakened state guy now, where you just wake up and state on him. Last up, I think I'm gonna put the Scarlet. She's like the signature I can't aim character, but I find her getting outclassed by pretty much every other character. You're better off playing Cloak than Scarlet. Cloak is just like a better Scarlet in pretty much every way. And I think that's about it. This is the can't aim tier list. You were in a horrible chainsaw incident and you lost both your hands. Who should you play? This is a list. If you really can't aim at all, then like, you can make these guys work. These guys are a bit better of a choice. You're gonna do fine with these characters, and you're really gonna excel with Rocket. So all you no aim, just trying to game people, leave a like, comment down below. Who do you like to play if you can't aim at all? I feel like this tier list kind of narrows it down. I think I'm gonna get a lot of Scarlet hate, but she kind of just sucks pretty bad, so she's getting down in the C tier. And yeah, that's the list. Can't aim, who should you play? The rest of these characters, if you can't aim, you should not be playing them at all. Whereas if you can't aim, you can still kind of make these guys work, but you should really just be kind of picking some of these blokes. That's the list. Thanks for watching. Leave a like. Subscribe for more.